been a fun experience.
It has been.
It's been good.
Good morning, everyone. It's Rob with Rockdale Construction, coming to you guys from New Richmond, Ohio. And we've just completed this 3,800 square foot metal flat roof. And we're excited to show off some of the details that we've incorporated into this. It's a 112 roof pitch, which means it's pretty flat. And behind us here, we've got a wall style gutter. Historically, this was called a Yankee style gutter. And you see these on houses that are much older, 75 to 100, maybe even more years old. And the reason why we brought it back is the function and the durability of those systems is abundantly apparent. We can see that by looking back in time. This is really going to be a throwback to a time when things were made with care, things were made to last. We also want to pay homage to all the craftsmen who are responsible for putting metal roofs on our homes and our businesses here in Cincinnati a century ago. Those guys used hammers, anvils, and tongs, and they made roofs that lasted a very long time, and that's what we're looking to duplicate, something authentic. Another reason why we've chosen to revive this technology here in the United States is in places like Eastern Europe and Western Russia, this technology is not only still in existence, it's also been refined and perfected. The work that you're looking at here has been done by an individual by the name of Alexander Cesaris from St. Petersburg, Russia. He is widely regarded as one of the top metal roofing craftsmen in the entire world. We want to give him a special thank you in this video for inspiring us to raise our own standards and revive the tradition of craftsmanship in our own country.
Well, we started last August with the project of the house, but really we started 5 years ago at the property, and it's been an adventure since, and we can see the end in sight. Wanted an elevated ranch type home to get the views of the trees and the river and be immersed in nature as much as possible.
We actually designed the house ourselves, and then we worked with an engineer who actually put everything that we wanted into the final plans. We've been self-building most of the time. We've had some pros along the way, such as Rob, to help us with the roofing, and then also the electricians and the plumbers. But we are choosing metal siding and stone and composite decking because we really want to have something that lasts for a very long time with low maintenance.
So standing seam roof, because we're catching all of our rainwater.
For our whole house, and the entire farm will actually run on rainwater, so it'll be pretty unique. And
we wanted a material that would be suitable for collecting our own and drinking the water.
No chemicals that would get into our water, and it's also going to be solar ready so that we can install solar panels on top of the ridges if we need to. We actually reached out to Metal Panel Systems, and they gave us a list of people, and Rob is the one that really kind of struck it home with us, and we've been very picky about who we bring on the job site, and he really fit the bill of, he's very precise, and that's exactly what we're looking for, because we're very hands-on and detail-oriented. We want everything to be pristine and well-constructed, and Rob has definitely done that with us. So
we kind of knew what we wanted for a roof, and then Rob really showed us what we needed for the roof to make that happen. There were some modifications along the way, but he was very helpful and stepped in how to fix a couple issues and did that on the fly, which was very helpful.
So we're very happy with it.
So we're going to go through the wall gutter, through the roofing penetrations here, and some of the details we use to maximize the longevity of this roof, and I think you guys are going to like what you see. So right here, looking at a wall gutter, and what this does is this retains both water and snow. Okay, so it prevents snow from sliding off the edge of the roof down below. This is especially advantageous when you have a steeper roof pitch, but in this case, it'll work just fine. Now the backbone of the system is this 16 gauge galvanized steel core, which has been anchored directly to the trusses below using heavy-duty construction fasteners. Snow retention rarely gets the attention that it needs. It's a corner that all of our competitors would rather cut because of the extra cost. However, this is a corner you would only cut if you were lazy or ill-informed. At Rockdale Construction, we take your property and your safety very seriously, which is why we always use snow retention. On the front side here, this client opted to go ahead and to incorporate a built-in box gutter. This is sort of an afterthought, but we wanted to collect as much rainwater off of this roof as possible because we are collecting rain in a cistern down below. And the reason why we chose to put our high point right here in the middle of the roof as opposed to putting another inlet here was simply because we have a huge entry door down below and nowhere for a downspout to be ran. And so this is the choice that we made. This entire liner is made out of one piece of metal here, and we've got an expansion joint here in the middle, which is about 1.5 inches wide. If you look right here, have a fold in the corner as opposed to a cut. And this is done using complex geometry and joinery to bring all these together here. And that folds over into the box gutter down below. And it performs the task of both retaining snow and diverting water into the downspouts below. Let's have a look at the inlets really quick. And the way this functions is water will dump down into here. You can see we have a mechanically seamed double lock cylindrical seam right here, inlet. And then in these corners right here, these are all, again, complex joinery and folds. No cuts, no caulking whatsoever. And then this piece of metal right here folds up and over this panel right here. Now this area right here provides a lowered section where water can dump over this front edge here in the event that there's a blockage here in the inlet. And I think that's really important. The way our panels are connected up here, very important as well. These are actually single folded into a locking cleat underneath, okay, and that cleat has no penetrations. And I feel like it's very important that this piece of metal that we're sitting on right now and the rest of the roof has no exposed fasteners, and there are no through penetrations anywhere in this roof. Now here's our wood burning stovepipe coming through the roof right here. It lands on a seam because of the framing down below. We couldn't move this penetration right or left. And with us having these panels pre-manufactured, it sort of plays into our favor to go ahead and put this on a seam. And this is all mechanically seamed together using complex joinery and folds, which allow us to join all this together without the use or the reliance of siliconized sealants or through penetration flashings such as rubber boots. All of our competitors pretty much all use rubber boots, which are pretty ghastly to look at, especially after they've been up here for a couple of years, and they require constant replacements every 7 to 10 years, whereas this is a permanent detail. And then we make all these truncated cones. They're on site. We're on our slip roller in the shop, and that's very important as well. This is another exhaust vent for a stove down below, and I feel like that's really important that we mechanically seam all this stuff together. Now the third type of penetration that's on this roof is plumbing vent with a witch's hat on top. And this is mechanically seamed into the panel the same way that the others are. And again, we make these pipe flashings on our slip roller at the shop. Now this is our last penetration right here. This is a gooseneck, which is designed for electrical lines to come onto the roof, and they can run their wires right up here. And we've got another one right across the way on the other side of that stovepipe, and that's there for a satellite dish. And that can all be mechanically attached to the seams rather than putting holes through the roof, and I feel like that's important. Now we're going to finish off at the ridge here. These double lock seams actually are continuous. They go all the way up and over the edge of the roof, and then they lock all the way down. And then they turn all the way down, locking onto the drip edge here. And I feel like that's really important. Now, a conventional standing seam roof would employ what's called a Z-flashing here at the ridge, wherein a Z-shaped piece of flashing is caulked and then screwed right to the ridge, and then they would hook a cap onto that to finish it and to make it look aesthetically pleasing. A snap lock standing seam roof, similar to barn metal roofs or agricultural panel roofs, all rely on silicone, butyl, or rubber as a primary means to keep that thing from leaking. Okay, and so that creates a maintenance issue. There are multi-million-dollar companies who do nothing but go around these snap lock roofs and these barn metal roofs and install fluid applied membranes to prolong the life of the metal roof. We're trying to eliminate that completely here by just using good geometry and using mechanical folds here. So what you're looking at is a mechanically folded roof, which is different from snap lock. And in addition to the differences in how the details are executed, the other main difference between mechanical lock and snap lock is that the seam on a snap lock standing seam roof actually clicks together, just like vinyl siding, whereas an authentic standing seam roof is double locked. The high fold is folded over the low fold, and then it's repeated again, which is what creates a double lock seam. And thus we can see that the integrity of the entire system is vastly superior to the conventional snap lock standing seam roof. The other issue I want to highlight with the snap lock standing seam roofs with the Z-bar detail across the ridgeline, when you do that, you now have a single row of screws pinning the entire roof to the ridgeline. And so the mass of all this steel that you're looking at pushes and pulls, causing additional stress on that single row of screws on a daily basis, 365 days a year. One of the primary functions of this roof that's different than your conventional American style snap lock standing seam panels is the ability of this roof to cope with the expansion and contraction cycles which happens in metal. So for example, this steel that we're walking on right now, it's actually zinc and aluminum coated. It expands about 1/8 inch every 18 to 20 feet on a hot day, and that's the maximum temperature swing from hot to cold from January to January. This roof is going to probably expand with these 50-foot panels every bit of 1/4 of an inch up and down the roof. So what we're trying to do here is basically direct the expansion and contraction in such a way that it relieves stress on the roof without causing any damage due to fatigue. And so we're going to go into detail on how we've done that here, and this will make a lot more sense to you once you see it. We've created what's called a fixed zone. This is an Eastern European zinc metal roofing detail that we've adapted to the steel roof that you're looking at here. And what that is, it's a 12-foot wide zone right underneath my feet, where we have nothing but fixed clips every 18 inches from end to end here. Meanwhile, the high side that you're looking at here and also the eave down below are installed using a floating clip system, which allows the roof to actually float to the high side and then also float towards the eave, meanwhile keeping the center pinned in place. And that really is the ideal way of securing this roof to the deck itself. And that's it from us, folks. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. If you have a project in mind for us, go ahead and drop a message in our inbox and we'll be happy to help you out. For those of you professionals that follow our page, which is a lot of you, make sure you stay tuned in the coming weeks because we're going to start releasing videos on our Metal Roofing Masterclass channel on YouTube. And we're excited to showcase some of these details and how to perform them. And we're also going to start providing support in the form of consultation, and we're going to start doing in-shop trainings here in Cincinnati, Ohio. If that's something that interests you, make sure you also send us a private message and we'll put you on our waiting list. And thanks so much for your guys' support and for the interest that you guys express in our work. And again, this is Rob with Rockdale Construction. Thanks for signing in. You guys have a great day.
Not only did we gain a beautiful roof, but we got a new friend in the process, so.